What the Jesus? Hello.
You're good. She didn't start yet.
Okay. Oh, okay. Hey. See if you can get Katie for me.
Good evening. My name is Christy Savakinis, and I am the Director of Technology at Pittston Area School District. I would like to welcome everyone to a special school board meeting for August 27th, 2020. Attendees tonight include the Board of Education members, our Superintendent, Mr. Kevin Booth, Business Manager, Mr. Al Malone, and Solicitor, Attorney Samuel Falcone. Also attending are members of the District Administrative Team and our Board Secretary, Mrs. Claire Ellen Hopple. Mrs. Hopple will be available to field questions for those attending via the live stream, available from the Pittston Area School District website. For those of you attending live, please note that there is a link on the district website to download and view tonight's agenda. The agenda will not be shown during the live stream, so we can focus on the board members as they present the agenda. At any point in time during the meeting, you can direct questions by emailing Mrs. Hopple at clairellen.hopple@pittstonarea.com. Mrs. Hopple's email address can also be found on the homepage of the Pittston Area School District website, www.pittstonarea.com. I would like to start the meeting showcasing our fourth grade teachers as they present the Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise and join in with them.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
At this time, I would like to turn the meeting over to our school board president, Dr. Frank Serino. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. The board met Thursday, August 13th, 2020 at 6 p.m., Monday, August 17th, 2020, and this evening at 4:30 for the purpose of discussing personnel. Proof of publication for special meeting?
Motion. Mr. Agnizio.
Second, Joe Salvo. Roll call?
Mr. Agnizio,
Yes.
Dr. Cooper,
here.
Mr. Crawford, Mr. Knick, Mr. Lawler, Mr.
Here.
Quinn? Okay, Mr. Crawford's here. Mr. Knick?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Ricotta?
Here.
Salvo?
Here. Here.
Dr. Serino?
Here.
Okay, now Mr. Quinn I didn't hear from.
Mr. Quinn is here too.
Okay, thank you.
Superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Serino. There are no communications and there are no bids. We have two topics for our general. The one is that the board approves the use of flexible instructional days for the 2020-2021 school year. And G2, that a Pittston area assumption of the risk and waiver of liability form shall be signed by a parent or guardian before a student can participate in athletics or extracurricular activities from this day forward. There is no personnel or finance business reports for this special meeting. I can say for G2 that the board has been in long discussions about athletics and extracurricular activities. And they have a very difficult decision in front of them this evening, one that they take very seriously. We had a meeting this evening with all of our coaches from all of our fall sports, as well as our cheerleaders and our band. And all of our coaches are very confident in the protocols that they have in place and are very confident that they can continue with those protocols and keeping our children safe and allowing them to continue with their extracurricular activity. That concludes my report. Dr. Serena, if you'd like to continue with the new business,
Yes.
public input.
Yes. At this time, we'd like to take a short recess so we can gather public input.
So we'll be taking a 10-minute recess. If there's anyone from the public who would like to have public input on the agenda items, and we will come back in approximately 10 to 15 minutes to allow for the input, allow for Mrs. Hopple to gather it, and we will return in 10 minutes. So we're looking at about 6:21. We'll return at 6:21. Thank you.
Kevin, are you there?
Yeah.
Kev?
Yep.
Okay.
You're going to be here a while.
This is the last one. Any more, then I'll be running them.
Have quite. Got a lot of them, Kev?
Yep. All right, Chris. Okay, we will. I will begin to read the public input. Please bear with me. Some of them are lengthy. From Tom Walsh. So we will have sports, but no in-person learning for children. As of this evening, our decision is in regard to sports. The in-person learning is something that was talked about already. They are not the same thing. They do come from two different areas. So this evening, we're only making decisions about sports and our extracurricular activities, all extracurricular activities. From Amy Brody, let our kids play. They need it for mental health. From Mr. John Simons, hello, my name is John Simons. I'm reaching out to you and the board regarding fall sports for my son, John Simons. He's been playing football for Pittston area since age 5. I know we are in a bad situation with the virus. Safety is the #1 priority. If safety requirements are met, I believe we can have a football season for the seniors. This is their last year to prove themselves for the next level of college football, so I'm asking the board to let them play. They've been practicing for the last couple of months, so please think about the seniors because they can't come back next year. And I do want to say I'm willing to donate my time to do whatever I can if that means I have to clean the equipment, locker room, or whatever it takes. Kelly Rogers, I will gladly sign to have my student participate in fall sports. I feel it is needed to help with the mental and physical health of my kids. My kids have been practicing since July and I have no issues to date. Coaches have been amazing at following protocol. I have faith in our kids and coaches to have a safe, healthy, successful season. Melissa Cincetti, while I'm a proponent of students returning to play sports, I'm curious as to why a similar waiver cannot be utilized to get our students back to face-to-face instruction in school. Again, this evening, we're talking about athletics and extracurricular. Art McKinney, I would like to request for senior parents to attend the football games. It is my understanding that there are 14 seniors on the football team, including my son, Ethan. This is his last year, and I would like to see him play. We are asking for 28 parents to be able to attend the football games. Again, this is our last year, so we'd like to watch our senior kids play. Mr. McKinney, no decision has been made on the amount of people that will be allowed or not allowed to enter the game. That is something that the athletic directors are getting together to meet on, as well as building administrators, and we'll bring all the concerns to the board. Mr. Jeff Bauman, I believe the coaches and their staff should be commended for their protocols and efforts to hopefully bring a fall sports season. However, if they cannot be safe in school, they cannot be any safer on a field, in a dugout, on a bus, or a sideline. Why isn't there then waiver options for parents to send their children to school? The whole student body doesn't benefit from this decision. Brittany Zakeski, do the students need to be on virtual learning for 5.5 hours a day or just the amount of time to complete the work? Also, when will the Chromebooks be distributed? Different classes will have different expectations, and different grade levels will have different expectations for how long you should be on. line, but it will never be a straight 5.5 hours in any school day. The Chromebooks will be distributed next week. The principals will be having town hall meetings, elementary on Monday, middle school, high school on Tuesday, and they will be giving you dates for Chromebook distribution. I can say Pittston area is not alone in that Chromebooks are very hard to come by these days, with everybody in America trying to purchase one. So some of our Chromebooks are on back order right now. We are waiting on them, but there'll be more information to follow in that regard. Ginger Fat sent a letter. I emailed a letter to everybody on the board. They are free to read it and or address it on Zoom. I thank you all for taking this decision seriously and for keeping our kids safe should we play. Mrs. Fat's letter this afternoon was in favor of sports. Alan Gustanucci, my biggest concern is if it is approved to have a fall season, which I'm in favor of doing, will it just get rolled back in a week because another school district decides otherwise? I don't want what happened to the school year itself when we originally had an option, voted on an option, was given a lot of information about the option, only to have it taken away a short time later. I don't want the students preparing for a season excitedly only to have it taken away in a week because someone else had a different school board outcome. Will this be an absolute decision? This decision will be absolute for the time being. If the board chooses to vote to have athletics and extracurriculars, I would say it would be a day by day and a week by week decision on keeping our children safe. If the safety conditions change, I would imagine there would be a change. Aaron Bufogel, my question is simple. If the board allows sports and extracurricular activities to continue, then how is it deemed that it is not safe for my child to physically attend school and have instruction from her teachers? In my opinion, in-person classes are less of a risk than a contact sport or club. Jamie Brodney, it is in the best interest of our youth to allow them to continue fall sports. Nicole Okaneski, dear Board of Education, please let them play, at least give it a chance. They have been conditioning since June with no incidents and are following the strict guidelines the coaches have in place. They deserve at least a chance of having a season. These kids need some normalcy. Thank you for your consideration. Carol and James, dear board members, I hope this message finds you well. I am reaching out to you as a parent to communicate my support of allowing student athletes to participate in fall sports programs at Pittston area. Athletics are programs based on preparation, hard work, dedication, sweat, and a willingness to try to succeed. I would like to repeat, a willingness to try to succeed. Those who are dedicated to athletics, a career, or a leadership role have countless years, weeks, days, minutes, and seconds that have been used to prepare mentally and physically to train and practice for opportunities that may happen only once in a lifetime. Those of us that have been around long enough realize that there are no guarantees that we have dedicated ourselves to practice for hours upon end will actually occur. But if we are great, we are prepared and we are ready to try when an opportunity presents itself. What some may view as simply a season that may not happen are wrong. Years upon end of waking up before school to train and lift at the Cephalo before the sun comes up, and then returning later in the day after school for practice or additional training for off-season teams, staying healthy through proper nutrition, rest, and maintaining a strong mental attitude to keep working even when others may slack off or give up is what drives athletes to succeed, not only in sports, but also in life. We would benefit as parents, coaches, educators, and board members to encourage our young men and women to prepare to do their best in life and always try. It is important to encourage our young men and women to give it a try. You prepared, you worked hard, and we know your heart would break more from not trying rather than succeeding. If as a leader, your heart doesn't skip a beat when you read these words, you don't truly understand the impact of not trying to have a season. I can speak for my own son, PJ Pisano. He is a senior this year. PJ is an outstanding student athlete with a work ethic that is impressive to all. He has spent years waking up before the light of day to train at the Ceph, and ending his day with another session of training after school for an in-season or off-season sport. He doesn't miss, ask his coaches. He prepares when he is tired, when the weather is bad, when there is a need to lead, for example, to encourage teammates. PJ has prepared for years for the fall of 2020 PA football season. If you have ever had to tell an athlete to hear words bringing spoken to an athlete, you can't play today. I don't feel the pain they feel. You don't relate to the impact of ending a season, a career, or dream. I am certain PJ is not alone. Many other PA athletes deserve to hear the message loud and clear from leadership within the Pittston Area School District. We support you, and we are going to try our best to allow you to compete. We will support you in your efforts to try. Please share the message that needs to be heard, taught, and encouraged. Prepare and try. Thank you for your consideration. Rebecca Zambetti, as I drove my daughter to work early this morning, she said to me, "Mom, what am I going to do if they cancel volleyball? I'm going to be so depressed. What about the seniors? They're going to be so upset. We signed waivers. Why can't we just play?" This is what I'm worried about. They are going to be depressed and lonely. Our kids need to play. They need to be with the teammates and coaches working towards a common goal. They need to have the human connection that they won't have during their virtual education. Please consider allowing them to continue fall sports. John Hurt, it is behind words that the school board can reason it is safe to play sports but not allow our students to go to school. I would like to hear from each board member their reasoning. Lori Savor, dear school board members, you are streaming from a cell phone. Since there are only 4 members visible, we can assume the remaining members do not want to be seen or cannot or will not load Zoom on their personal devices. You should be able to see all members on this meeting. This is an example of how technology will affect students. Some will be successful and some will not. They must go back to school. In addition, they need to play fall sports. These students desperately need live social interaction as well as team building. Please get them back to school and back playing sports. Carissa Brace, continue fall sports, parent of a field hockey player. Christy Moran, the kids have suffered enough. This is what they look forward to. They need activities. They have been in quarantine all this time. My daughter is a senior and has looked forward to this year. Club team outside of schools are still continuing. They deserve this. Let them play. Jacqueline Dwinchik, please continue with fall sports as our youth's mental health is at risk. Leah Zambetti, please allow us to play volleyball. We will follow all the directives, wear a mask, maintain social distance, sanitize. We have been working hard all summer. Our team looks great. We will look forward to a winning season. Not sure if there's a name on this one. But why wasn't there an option to sign a waiver to send our children to school for instruction, but sports is allowed? This is the definition of insanity. Ann Schraden, I would like to say thank you to the board administration for spending so much time planning and replanning the school and athletic year. These aren't easy decisions, and I appreciate you taking the time to do so. From Mr. Jimmy Callahan, I am a parent of an 8th grade athlete. Do not take away their memories. It has been hard enough on kids. The kids have been playing sports all summer and have proven they could act responsibly and follow guidelines. They've earned the right to continue. Mrs. Dragger, I am in favor of fall sports. I am willing to sign a waiver. My only problem is we have all sports, not just football. We need the band and cheerleaders at the games also. Mr. Jay Butcher, my name is Jay Butcher. I'm a father of 2 student athletes, one at the high school level, another at the 8th grade level. I manage several offices in several states. I have not seen outbreaks among my associates. In conversations with parents in these areas, it is unanimous that kids are not being affected by the virus other than adults voting against them playing. It is my understanding that the majority of schools are going forward with their seasons. I have not seen substantial examples to take away the kids' sports. There just have not been many teams who have or were infected, not when you consider the number of athletes playing. Please do not take away something which they will value for the rest of their lives. Melissa Halpin, I disagree with any decision to play sports over the proper education of any child. How could you find it okay to have children playing sports but not be socially distanced in a classroom? How is it okay to be in each other's faces playing football, but not okay to walk down a hallway wearing a mask? How is it okay to touch sports objects that have not been disinfected, but children cannot sit in a classroom with socially distancing? I cannot see as a district with any common sense putting sports before the proper learning that all children deserve. I would like to consider the mental well-being of the students in our district. These children have been ripped from their normal lives. You tell them they cannot go to school, but an elite few can play sports. Mary Jardina, thank you for your hard work and planning difficult decisions all around. Given the waiver options for sports, is there any opportunity to revisit moving back to in-class instruction for the start of the new year with the waiver as an option? Please explain the rationale/criteria used for moving to full online versus the rationale criteria used to allow sports to continue and how this differs. Thank you for your planning. Students and parents understand how difficult this is. Preston Clem, I would like to express my opinion in regards to the upcoming decision regarding the athletic and extracurricular activities for 2021. As a parent of a student athlete, I think it would be beneficial for the kids to participate in their chosen sport or school activity, if not for any other reason, for mental well-being of these kids. Kathy Rubel, as a parent of a cheerleader, I ask that you let these young men and ladies play, give them a chance of normalcy. They are unable to be in school to have that feeling after all they have been going through in these unpredictable times. I say again, please let them play. Michelle Yanchis, my son Steven Yanchis, I agree with John Simons. I will do everything I can as well to keep all healthy and also allow our children to play. We cannot hide from this. We need to stay safe and healthy, and that includes exercise, be with people, or we will be dealing with more than COVID. We need to interact. We need to take care of our immune systems, including healthy people. I did receive some emails this afternoon as well. And I'll just summarize a little. Katie Galonis. Katie, I'm going into 9th grade, and I would like to tell you my views on if we should have fall sports or not. I believe we should have fall sports this year. Reason number one, we should have them because many kids, it's their only mental health outlet. Kids have already been trapped inside. Why take the one thing keeping the students happy and healthy? Another reason is that there are far less kids playing sports than there are kids in school. Also, sports are not mandatory. No child is forced to play a sport, unlike school where you have to go or you could go to court. If you are uncomfortable playing sports, simply don't go. No need to take everyone else's happiness away. Hopefully you and the other school board members come to the right decision of keeping fall sports. Don Busey, I'm writing you again to voice my concerns over the upcoming meeting and that sports may also be canceled in addition to in-person learning. As representatives of the people of this school district, I feel it is vital that you are aware of how people feel to make an informed decision, similar to the surveys about in-person learning, because your decisions should represent what is wanted by the people. Overwhelmingly, people voted for in-person classes. Also, my request is that if anyone writes into Zoom meetings, the entire comment is read and not just summarized. It is difficult to be heard this way under these meeting constraints as it is, and really do wish that when decisions with this much impact are made, there are live meetings so all are heard. My daughter is a senior who will be playing sports in college and has looked forward to having her turn at her senior year for a long time. My son is a sophomore that has participated in volunteer workouts all summer to keep structure and stay healthy and competitive for the upcoming season. We know through travel team play this summer, as well as volunteer workouts that have taken place at this very school, that no issues were noted as to COVID-19 and proper effective precautions were taken. In addition, the mental health benefit structure for at-risk and all youth, as well as the once-in-a-lifetime memories to be made, are being taken away from our youth. I fear for the upcoming months as we are starting to see some tragic results from these decisions. I still cannot understand why we cannot at least try it under proper safety precautions. My question to you is, when will it be time? PIAA has approved sports. Casinos are open and my children cannot play a sport even outside. We cannot live in fear and I should be able to choose to let my children play, just like those who chose to stay home. Practices are full for a reason. We are ready. Please let them play. Allie Butcher. This is Allie Butcher. I'm an 11th grade student. I play volleyball and basketball. I am aware of the circumstances and risks involved with playing sports right now. Me and my team have been playing with each other since July and have been working really hard to get a district title. We came so close last year to the finals. This year can be our year. I am asking you to please give us our season. Thank you for taking the time to read this. Maureen Fetchko. I see there's going to be an emergency board meeting Thursday. I'm guessing that is to decide the fate of all sports. I would like to implore the board to keep our fall sports programs and not cancel or postpone. I realize this is a difficult decision, but I think the benefits of team sports outweigh the risks. So much has been taken away from our children this past year, and now school is online. So many children depend on school sports for exercise and social interaction. This is so important for our children's mental health and physical well-being. Our children have conditioned all summer. They want their chance to participate. Please do not take away the last thing that they have looked forward to in this crazy world. The coaches have implemented the safety guidelines. Allow them to take their shot, please. The Dudek family, this email is to ask that you please allow our children to play fall sports this season. Sports are very important to the overall well-being of each child and benefit both their mental and physical wellness. It is also not healthy for these kids not to be able to socialize. They need the support they get, especially now, from their team members. Playing sports is about more than just winning. It is a learning experience, and it helps shape each individual child in a positive and productive way. I ask you again, please do not take away this freedom from our children. We as parents have the right to decide whether or not we want them to play sports. And we are willing to sign any waivers to ease your minds. Please look into your hearts. Think about yourself when you were in high school or any other grade, and ask yourself what you would want the people in charge to do for you. Christine Barron, my son is going into 6th grade, and I was very pleased about the decision to keep children in school. However, the school board voted to have a virtual school last week, and I am not pleased by any means. This is detrimental to children, parents, and the entire society. I am a registered nurse with 23 years experience as an ICU bedside nurse. Keeping children at home will not help our immune systems, and I am opposed to this decision. And now rumor has it the board is voting on canceling all 4 fall sports after the PIAA voted last week to allow these precautions that have been in effect. My son plays baseball, flag football, and wrestles. He will continue to do these sports whether or not the school board allows fall sports. Fortunately, our family can afford to pay for our child to join club sports. Unfortunately, not all children are as lucky as we are. What specialists have been consulted to look at the students' mental health during the pandemic and the negative effect continuing virtual school versus hybrid model has on mental health of our students, as well as participating or not participating in sports? A report released last week from CDC shows an increase in suicide, alcohol abuse, substances abuse, and mental health issues during the pandemic. That was from Kelly Rogers. Kelly, our teachers and our guidance counselors are being trained in COVID-19 coping and helping our students deal with those issues, and that will continue. Jamie Sikorsky Herring, to the school board and Superintendent Booth. I'm writing as a parent of 2 children in the district, a senior and a child starting kindergarten. I'm asking to please reconsider keeping them virtual until November 12th and revisit it earlier. The children need their education in a classroom setting. My daughter has been attending daycare the entire summer with no issues, and my son has been working 2 jobs and socializing with friends since the shutdown in March, again with no issues. The statistics show the effects of children is minimal, if anything. Keeping the kids virtual is not going to help their mental health and education. It's going to hurt them in the long run. My senior should be excited about his senior year and preparing for college, but is worried about not having a senior year at all. He's afraid they will miss out on all the events that all seniors look forward to. They need their clubs, their activities, and sporting events, but most importantly, their education. My daughter has been so excited to start kindergarten and be in school, and now has to sit home in front of a laptop to attempt to learn virtually. The original plan of younger children in school and the older ones in a hybrid setting was much better than this virtual plan. Get our children back to school, be the leader in the area. If parents are against it, then they have the choice to choose the virtual option. Please, I'm asking you to think of our children, their education and mental health. and reconsider your plan. And finally, Krista Winter, let the kids participate. That is all the public input. Dr. Sereno, you could start the regular meeting. Dr. Sereno?
Got it, Kevin. At this point, I'd like to begin with our regular meeting. Roll call.
Sorry about that. Mr. Agnizio,
Present.
Dr. Cooper,
Present.
Here.
Mr. Crawford,
Here.
Mr. Knick, Mr. Knick,
Here.
Mr. Lawler,
Here.
Mr. Quinn,
Here.
Miss Ricotta,
Here.
Mr. Salvo,
Mr. Salvo here.
Dr. Sereno,
Here. With that, I'd like to ask a motion for G1, that the use of flexible instruction days be approved. Motion.
Motion, Lori.
Second.
Mr. Salvo.
Mr. Agnizio,
Yes.
Dr. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Knick,
Yes.
Mr. Lawler,
Yes.
Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Miss Ricotta,
Yes.
Mr. Salvo,
Yes.
Dr. Sereno.
Yes. On G2, Kevin, if you would, please read the wording that you have exactly for G2.
That a Pittston area assumption of the risk and waiver of liability form shall be signed by a parent or guardian before the student may participate in athletics or extracurricular activities from this day forward.
Motion.
Motion.
Second, Mr. Salvo.
Okay. Mr. Agnizio,
Yes.
Dr. Cooper,
Yes.
Mr. Crawford,
Yes.
Mr. Knick,
Yes.
Mr. Lawler,
Yes.
Mr. Quinn,
Yes.
Miss Ricotta,
Yes.
Mr. Salvo,
Yes.
Dr. Sereno.
Yes. With that, I'd like to say that, first of all, thank our administration, our coaches, and this board for spending the amount of time we've had to try to get the answers for which I don't know if there are any right answers. Other than the fact that we have deliberated and looked at all of the things inside and out and taken input from medical people, taken input from governmental officials, and so on and so forth. And everything that was said tonight in public work session and your comments have been heard, and we understand it. and there isn't anything that anyone has said that hasn't already been considered or discussed. With that, I will say this, that as part of allowing the sports program going on, our intention is that at any point, at any time, that there is an incident or an occurrence, that the board will reconvene to reconsider its position as to whether or not sports will progress. Thank you. Anyone else with comments on the board? If not, a motion to adjourn.
Prior to the motion to adjourn, I just want the record to reflect that we have on the agenda an additional public comment period, but we took all of the comments at the beginning of the meeting prior to the vote, even the comments that were not applicable to the agenda items. I've confirmed with Claire Ellen through Don Licata as well that there are no additional comments at the time. If anything comes in late, we will answer those tomorrow. But the reason that we're not having the additional comment period now is because we took all of the comments prior to vote, even if they are non-agenda items. So I just wanted the record to reflect that, Dr. Serino.
Thank you. Any other comments? If not, make motion to adjourn.
Motion.
All in favor?
Second, Mr. Lawler.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.